It is the 10th of ewe's milk. The white shines forth in purple without that tablecloth. The darkness of the goat's month is upon their ilk. Like the red, pink, and lavender, it is born to drink the drought. Who or what is Satan shall be the next video, but that I comment on. The life and journey of the souls sounds as good as any to comment on. There's a degree of detachment to have with life that reduces the clinging. Transference of the soul is the truth behind the claims of transmigration or reincarnation of the soul. 5 transfers in 6 realms of existence, pre-existence in Alam ul Arwah, soul realm, into Adam is one I think most ignore. The second transfer into the world is the only conception of reality for most. The grave is a lost concept to many, because they think it is independent on the body. The resurrection is one that people generally deny in the practical sense, but most claim belief. Add the final result, and a person can either break it down into 3 stages of existence and maybe extend the list to more. Alam ul Ahlam as the dream world being a real world from Satan, yourself, or God is one that hardly is understood by, that hardly any understand. Okay. Everyone is satanic and Jesus can't save you. Every false belief and practice is satanic, but theistic Satanism takes it to another level. I do not discriminate between any of the actual messiahs and prophets of God. That means none of them can do our hero deeds for us. EU Coeting and his magic debunked by Satan himself. Oh, this was February 14th, because remember, Imbolc is around the 4th or 5th of February. Sometimes the 3rd. Well, the night sunset on the 3rd. The best blood used is not to be self-harm, but that which comes lawfully in both the spiritual and temporal sense. Blood over intent only psychically affects you, and maybe pleases what is being obeyed by it. The competition of this, I speak, and it is done stuff, like all one needs to do is will something into existence, seems to be no more than of the same category as faith healing. Think it, will it, do it. You know, you got to follow through it. Well, I mean, that's really saying nothing. You got to follow through. Well, what is the follow through? So if you can't follow through, then you can't do your deed. So, you know, anyways. Sirah 103, let's see. The Well Badir Kum incident and how Muslim Bukhari said that Ali had more political roles than any alive by that point is the closest thing to Prophet Muhammad appointing a successor, but it is clear from his own words that refusing to appoint a Khalifa when asked and telling them to choose one among themselves by mutual consultation, that Caliph 1, 4, and 5, the actual Khalifa, got their position in the matter Islam prescribes. Polytheism, delegation, and something forgotten as Muhammad ibn Abdullah's last will does not make sense as something that would be contradicted in a scroll that the last exemplar prophet was dictating. By polytheism, the idea that the goal was to to dispel polytheism, but it wasn't something they ever did by force. Sirah 104, I'm not reading all of these comments other than the Nargargole Shlod video comments. Someone who knew Muhammad doing something is not a fair reason to justify it in Islam. Allowed at the time, yeah, sure, but, oh, I'm mimicking a prophet. The prophet has come to be mimicked, they came to teach the people. It can be said to skip the first three or the second and third caliph according to the Sahih interpretation about the rope dream. He kissed a girl before going to the masjid. Well, kiss face to face. Not everybody has the same attachment with that sort of thing. But anyways, it is insulting to call a woman of childbearing age a girl, or a male old enough to father a child a boy. Old and New Testament also label it a sin to merely touch a member of the opposite sex, and there's nothing inherently sexual about a kiss mouth to mouth, because no one has actual sexual sensation there. Prophet Muhammad reminded some that even though kissing does not interest some men at all, it will be foreplay to some of the women, and something worth trying. Even major sin does not make a person unworthy of the next good he can do, and that is what differs Islam from so many paths. And Surah 102, building the houses upon Qibla is what the Israelites that followed the prophets did. The story of Solomon in the Quran indicates that the body of the prophets decayed because a worm is attracted to eat his staff. I mean, this idea that, that his body was perfectly preserved. I mean, really, the worm comes to eat the staff? Why would a worm come to eat a staff unless there's a dead body rotting over it, right? Propped up over it. A grave is a grave and not a sanctuary, and now people pray nearby facing a grave in the past strange rituals too. The satanic temples burn the witches till Satan takes a stand with his bitches. Vincent Castiglia may not admit the switches in sanguine spring, but Shayateen will be there with atheists to sing. Okay, that's Satanic Temple video. Their apocalypse video is some interesting thing that's worth seeing, but the rest of it's just, okay, they're just being jerks to people. Burn the witches to, a bitch is a female dog. I don't know what costume they were using, but that's sort of what I meant. Surah 103. Oh, I didn't say anything with that one. So I don't. And 101, let's see what's on 101. Oh, is there life after death, my experiences? Okay, that's worth sharing something from. Some of the most effective painkillers were known and possessed around the Mediterranean. May we not be distracted by the presence or lack of presence of people as we pray, and thereby allowing Satan to cause us to lose part of our prayer. Woe to those who build shrines and bring precious metal and stones to adorn the graves. Okay. Is there life after death? My experiences? I hate... was this the E.A. Quetting video I commented on? I hate to break it to you, but almost dying from drug overdoses are not first-hand knowledge of life after death. Research on humans and animals that drug deaths are not the drug-down comfort people are still high think. Opiates are like a heart attack and suffocating to death. Amphetamines and most other drugs are even worse. No one finds even the dying that way fun. Fear, pain, and other bad feelings are shown to be, at the very least, through sensors. People have overdosed themselves being hooked up to machines and they don't remember, but their brain readings indicate it was horrible. Anyways. A person would only really hope there is no afterlife if they knew their consciousness and actions were not enough in actual orthodoxy and orthopraxy. Don't claim to be more for Norse magic if preferring Germanic runes rather than Icelandic, Viking, or other more northern forms of runes. Runes actually have roots going back thousands of years before that in the historical record. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints grafted the format of Freemasonry that Joseph Smith learned upon the particular form of Baptist Christianity that the so-called Mormons follow. Now they're Baptists because they have new doctrine and they rebaptize. And there is that part of the Bible, what shall be done about the baptism of the dead. I don't remember which verse, but anyways. This includes other information in the King James Version of the Bible, which Joseph Smith's minor changes and commentary, the Book of Mormon, the Pearl of Great Price, Joseph Smith, History and Other Papers, and the Book of Commandments, now called the Doctrine and Covenants. After all, Joseph Smith did found and head the Freemason Lodge in Navajo, Illinois. Abrahamic faith is rarely as black and white as many seem to think they were after drugs and time goes by. Eric Arcalis Coetting seems to base his physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and soul planes that a person can visit consciously through soul travel as something he learned from the Scientology spinoff called Ekankar. Now have 21 more programs printed about that group that I haven't shared, so stay tuned for that. These are almost always projections or egregors in the psychic or psychiatric nature of your perception. Thoughts, words, and deeds do get crystallized, but neither this life or the afterlife is as much wish fulfillment as one wants. Psychic and spiritual journeys are ways to work through your own issues rather than just a fantasy. You perfect to escape forever upon dying. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, I already got to that. So I don't know the name of the next video, but Hail Saturn!